Good morning. It's Good Friday and I'm here to give you a special Easter story time. I think most children know all about the Christmas story when Jesus was born, but not everybody knows the Easter story about when Jesus died, or why it's actually a happy story even though it has some really sad bits in it. So today, if you have spoons or claves, you might want to get them out because I'm going to use them for this next one. It's just like Horsey Horsey, but it's slightly different for Easter. We're going to sing Donkey, Donkey, Don't You Stop. And he doesn't have wheels because he's not got a cart, he's got Jesus riding on his back. So we're going to sing Giddy Up, You're Jerusalem Bound, because the donkey took Jesus into Jerusalem. I'll sing it first, then we'll sing it together. Donkey, donkey, don't you stop. Just let your feet go clippity-clop. Your tail goes swish without a sound. Giddy up, we're Jerusalem bound. Should we try that together again? Donkey, donkey, don't you stop. Just let your feet go clippity-clop. Your tail goes swish without a sound. Giddy up, we're Jerusalem bound. Let's do it once more. And for fun, let's let that donkey race through the gates of Jerusalem with Jesus on his back. Are you ready? Donkey, donkey, don't you stop. Just let your feet go clippity-clop. Your tail goes swish without a sound. Giddy up, we're Jerusalem bound. Brilliant. Do you know the song Chick, 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 Chicken? Let's sing that and then I'll tell you a little bit about, well, the chickens and the eggs we see at Easter. Chick, 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 chicken, lay a little egg for me. Chick, 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 chicken, I want one for my tea. Oh, I haven't had an egg since breakfast and now it's 3:30. So, chick, 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 chicken, lay a little egg for me. We'll sing it one more time. Are you ready? Chick, 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 chicken, lay a little egg for me. Chick, 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 chicken, I want one for my tea. Oh, I haven't had an egg since breakfast and now it's 3:30. So, chick, 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 chicken, lay a little egg for me. Brilliant. Some of you may have been watching on Tuesday when I introduced you, or a little while ago, to my chicken here. This chicken's actually called Jesus, which seems like a funny name for a chicken because you don't look like Jesus. But we called this because this was actually an Easter gift one year, and we called the chicken Jesus because our gospel writer Luke actually quotes Jesus saying that he looks after people as a hen looks after its chicks, which means that he loves us and rounds us up and cares for us. You can see a mother hen protecting her chicks under her wings. And we get a lot of Easter eggs. Do you have any Easter eggs ready to eat? Now, chocolate Easter eggs, when you open them up, are often empty. And eggs are not only a sign of new life, just that they look absolutely still and a chick hatches out of them. And we remember new life in the springtime and at Easter time, just like we remember Jesus' new life after he came out of the tomb. But also, we remember it because an empty egg, just like the tomb, reminds us of Jesus' resurrection. These are my resurrection eggs, a whole set of eggs that tell the story of Easter. The first one, it's got a donkey in it, and they've got all different symbols in that show that Easter story I told you, and there is the empty egg, an empty tomb at the end. And I've got an empty tomb to put on there as well. So there you go. When you open up an empty egg, you can remember the empty tomb. you can remember the celebration of Jesus' new life with the Father and the new life he shows us in God's love. One more song, and there's a story about the hot cross buns afterwards. So we're going to sing hot cross buns together. Are you ready? Hot cross buns, hot cross buns, 1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross buns. If you haven't any daughters, give them to your sons. 1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross buns. Should we try it again? Hot cross buns, hot cross buns, 1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross buns. If you haven't any daughters, give them to your sons. 1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross buns. Brilliant. I've got some hot cross buns here. Thank you. Do you like hot cross buns? Well, I'm going to tell you about the symbols of the hot cross buns in a bit. But first, I want to do our craft activity. And I'm going to put this on the Facebook page in case you want to have a go. So let's see how I get on with my blue Peter moment. What you're going to need is a corner yogurt pot. If you don't want to have one, you could use a different sort of pot as well, I'm sure. A corner yogurt pot, piece of kitchen roll, some seeds. Cress seeds are very good for this. Some colouring pens and pastels and some tape. And we're going to make an Easter garden. It's traditional to make Easter gardens at Easter, and I'll show you this one. These have got different things to remember the Easter story. And here, you see at the front, is the empty tomb. And there is the cross where Jesus hung, and the cross where the thieves hung to remember he died. And then the sign of the sun, the bright light on the resurrection. So I'm going to put this picture onto the Facebook page so you could print it off and colour it in. Well, here's one I did earlier. I coloured it in. And there are also some marks there to cut a little bit out here. So there we go. We've cut a hole in it there, you see. Now I'm going to take my Easter pot and I'm going to put it through this hole. There we go. And stick it together at the back. Make sure it sticks on. There we go. So that when you stand your pot up, you should have a nice scene. Make a little Easter garden. Then you can get little bits of paper towel. It's much, much easier than using soil. There. Put some bits of paper towel inside. And then I'm going to put a little drop of water on that to dampen it down. There we go. Put water all over the vicarage snug as well. And then I'm going to put the seeds in. Make sure there's plenty of seeds in there. Oh, brilliant. A little bit more water. And then you need to water them. Just sprinkle little bits of water on if they start to look dry and watch it grow. And you will create your Easter garden. Now, I have forgotten my stone. Phoebe, could you go and get it for me? It's in front of the daffodils in my study.
I know where it is.
Got family standing behind doing their camera work just as well. There we go. And then we're going to get an Easter stone. You could choose some sort of pebble. You could make one out of paper as well. And actually, if you do it like that, you stand it there and it makes it into an Easter garden with the empty tomb. So you could make one of those out of paper if you haven't got one you want to balance. I've got a reel. Here's one I made earlier moment here. When your grass or your cress has grown, it means it will look absolutely stunning. It will look like a proper Easter garden scene. So there's your Easter garden activity to make over the weekend if you'd like to. Now I did say I'd tell you about the hot cross buns, and this is to do with the stone as well, because a hot cross bun is said to represent the stone that was rolled away from the tomb. It's got a cross on it to remember the cross that Jesus was put in, and it's even said that the currants inside, there should be 5 currants inside to represent the wounds that Jesus had on his hands and feet and in his side. Though I think I'd be a bit cross if one of my hot cross buns only had 5 currants in it. But there you go, that's why we eat hot cross buns at Easter. So what's good about Good Friday? Do you remember where we started before I told you the story and we sang songs and did a craft activity? What's good about Good Friday is that although on Good Friday we remember the really sad part of the story where Jesus died, we know it's not the end of the story. We know that God promises us new life in Jesus after death, and Jesus showed us that when he came back from death. So that's why it's good, and that's a message of love, and that's why it's also a good day, because we can be very, very sure that God loves each one of you and me and everybody you know and love. So I'm going to wish you a very blessed and happy Easter weekend, and I'll be back doing a live normal song time again next Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. Take care, have a good weekend. Bye.